Hello there and welcome to a video. My name is Greg. I shall be your host for the duration of this video and perhaps a bit longer. Well, no longer than that actually. Let's have a look at this pack. So I'm going to do a pack per win draft league because I'm a masochist and I hate myself, apparently. I registered in the pack per win and alas I thought I would get that particular constraint on my time and life out the way. Seriously, I wouldn't recommend these pack per win drafts. I don't think the standard's particularly as high as the 622s, but I mean that's fine. The main problem I have with them is they take fucking ages to load. I faced someone yesterday. That was the last day. It was indeed yesterday in round 3, and the only thing that was exchanged between us all match was him saying it took me 35 minutes to find a match, which I replied it took me 40. Luckily, we don't have to do much here. So we've got a pretty bomby first pick. Let's take the Mirror-wing Dragon and see where we end up. So I've just come right off opening Liliana of the Veil, so I'm in a pretty good mood, as one may imagine, playing the old Innistrad full set sealed. It was quite fun. It's an interesting and weird format, made worse by the fact that some of the cards are bugged. Never Corpse Lunge, for what it's worth. So what are we going to pick here? I suppose the only logical pick is Dragunder. Oh, it's not the only logical pick. Dragunder is the best card. I really like Campaign of Vengeance. I am the 1%. I started playing Shreds of Sanity. I'll rephrase that. I've played it in one deck and it wasn't terrible. But I think Dragunder's the pretty clear pick. Mirror-wing Dragon's great. Blue-red is great. Let us combine the two and have a lovely time. Here, once again, there's a pretty clear pick. It ain't blue and it ain't red, baby. It's green. It's the Captive. Nothing more to say than that. I got beaten by a Lunar-Force deck yesterday. Lunar-Force tempoed me out the game, but I don't think that's the pick. And the only other defensible pick here in my mind is the Sigurdian Priest. But if you're going into a third colour, you want a great card. Lunar-Force Captive's a great card. Amon Evi. I think it's certainly better than Sigurdian Priest. So let's go with that. What do we have now? A lot of decent black cards. Red doesn't seem like it's flowing at all, insofar as we haven't seen a particularly playable red card. And we could take the Cultist, but the black cards are strong here. I'm not a huge fan of Stromkirk Condemned. I seem to have played with it a lot as it goes quite late, and I do somewhat like black-red. But I don't think it's the pick. I think the picks are between Cultist, Boon, and Scour the Laboratory. Ew, I quite like... I don't know where to go with this one. I might take the Scour the Laboratory because I'm greedy. I don't know if it's necessarily the right pick. I think greed's a great reason for picking something. However, I end up in blue-red or blue-green. Card draw's not too much of a problem. Exorbitant Cultist might solve that. It's tough. It's a really tough one, and it could easily be a mistake. I think I am actually going to take the Cultist. I'm going to change my mind. Cultist works great in blue-green. Blue-red, I suppose it works alright. It's a card. Excuse me. Well, not much to go with here. Black does seem to be open. We saw a lot of good black cards the last pack. We see a Tattered Haunter here. Sorry, we see Dusk Feaster here. And thus ruining the surprise of what I'm probably going to take. It's Tattered Haunter. I'm not a huge fan of Tattered Haunter at all, but we do have some decent blue cards so far. I suppose Tattered Haunter is a logical pick here. I'm a huge Borrowed Grace fan, but alas, 'tis not to be. Let's take Tattered Haunter, but remain very much aware that black is open, and perhaps, yeah, if Dusk Feaster wasn't, if Dusk Feaster a little more powerful, if this was kind of a certain death type card, I might be tempted to jump into black. We'll see where we go from here. Immediately certain death appears, tempting me with its beautiful, beautiful face of some sort of slender man in the background. So I suppose the picks are between Werewolf, Death, Brute, and Graft. I've said this a lot. I don't know if Stitcher's Graft's any good. I really don't. I'm still unsure as to its efficacy. I found it to be okay in an Emerge deck where you can immediately emerge away the creature that can't attack. Or untap, indeed. I think I'm going to take the Werewolf. I end up blue-green more than I should. But I think the Werewolf's a good card. It looks like we're probably having to wave goodbye to the Mirror-wing Dragon unless we open another red bomb. Next pack, we're getting very much cut on red. The guy to our left is almost certainly in red. and maybe even the guy to his left. So I think we can just wave goodbye to this. Like, if we open up another card of Mirror Wings quality, we can perhaps go red next pack and accept we're not going to get anything pack 3 and just play red as a support colour. But I don't think that's a particularly... I don't think it's a good idea unless we open up an absolute bomb in red. Because the guy to our right won't be in red because he's seen no red either. Because it's Cultist or Grapple. I quite like Crop Sigil, but it's not up to the quality level of the other two. I think I'm going to take Grapple here. We've already got one Cultist and no Emerge. If we had a couple of Emerge creatures, I would want the Cultist more, but I like Grapple. Grapple's a nice little card. Fix your mana early on, get you something good back late. I'll have it. Rewarded immediately by an Emerge creature. See, black, I think so. The 3 colours are black, green, blue. I much prefer being green, blue as a combination of any of those colours, so I think I'm going to force my way into that. The problem with green, blue is a lack of removal, and it seems like we are very much exhibiting that problem with our deck. Drag Under is semi-removal, it's tempo removal, but we're hardly going to be beating down. I'm going to take the It of the Horrid Swarm, though. If you kind of want critical mass of Emerge creatures, and this is a perfectly decent one. Again, black is, well, the decent cards here are black. Hammer Captain's fine, though. Let's take it and hope to not play it. Graphrat and Supplicant. So is there anything we could hedge on? Because none of these are making the main deck, obviously. I suppose the Shreds of Sanity is the biggest hedge, given that if we open up a bomb in blue, in red, and perhaps go red-blue spells, because red will be flowing next pack, it's potentially something worth thinking about. Campaign of Vengeance is not for this day. I'm going to take the Shreds of Sanity and just see if by some weird chance we end up there. I don't want to take Lunar Force, even though I am cutting a blue card here. I just will never play it. If we do go black, I might play Cemetery Recruitment. Cathar's Shield's a playable card. Yeah, I don't want to play Consecrator. That's a late Borrowed Grace, but Wolfkin Bond is somewhat playable. I don't think this is the format for Wolfkin Bond. I think inherently it's a powerful card. What it does is a strong effect, but this, I think a random 2/2 isn't really what this format wants at all, and the +2/+2, whilst great, is, again, the board can get very clogged up in this format. And alas, just giving something +2/+2 and no form of evasion or even vigilance, as Nightly Validate, is not quite so good as it was in Magic Origins, or indeed Return to Ravnica, where this card debuted. Well, sod all that, look at this pack. We've got bloody loads of stuff. Just going to slam the doze and slam it, windmill slam, other words that equivocal to slam. It's a good card, what I'm trying to get across. So Docent's the pretty clear pick there. There's no point really talking about it. Waste your time and you'd waste mine. Here, once again, I think we've got a pretty clear Wolf Infiltrator. Like, Brebrai is good and all. And Wolf Infiltrator does have the downside of sometimes just being terrible. Turn 1 Thraben Inspector is a nice way to turn off a Wolf Infiltrator. But its upside is take you over the game. And I think that's quite a substantial upside. So let's slam this Infiltrator. Slammed. Well, blue's definitely open based on... Well, no, I suppose being past the Wolf Infiltrate doesn't necessarily equivocate itself to blue being open. I think we need some form of removal in this deck, and Prey Upon is a form of removal. Especially if we're maximising our mana each turn. We've got Werewolves, we've got cards that cycle, we've got Discard, we've got Looting that can make 3/2s. I think I'm just going to take Prey Upon. It's a nice little tempo fight spell. Like, Mercurial Grace is good and all. Woodland Patrol is something I don't really want to play. Enlightened Maniac would be good if we had perhaps one more Emerged creature, but I'm still going to take Prey Upon. As I said earlier, the big problem with green-blue decks is a distinct lack of removal. Lest we fall into that trap, I shall take this. Yeah, this is just quite a weak pack. I think I'm just going to take the Grapple. Nothing else really here. Let's slam it. Works well the Docent. And here comes that open red, which we were talking about at such length. I think at this point, though, we're probably too deep into blue-green. Like, we've got a nice little blue-green shell, albeit not with a huge Emerge sub-theme. I think I'm just going to take Terrarian. Terrarian's a nice little card. We've got double green, we've got double blue. Maybe we need the mana-fixing ability. It cycles. It lets you enable Delirium, lets you splash. I like it more than Swift Spinner, because I just don't like Swift Spinner. The ship has sailed on the old Weaver attempt. If that made any logical sense, but I'll say it anyway. Let's just take Terrarion and move on with our lives. Well, with a Terrarion in hand, a Bloodbriar looks far more attractive. Curious Homunculus, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spells at the moment. But I don't think this is the deck for Homunculus, whereas Bloodbriar is a nice little pickup. Let's take it. This is a tricky one, so It of the Horrid Sworn or Exalting Cultist. Let's lay out the creatures in curve. As in where we're aiming to cast them. This isn't a turn 3 play, well, that is a turn 1 play, Terrarion. So, do we want the big thing, or do we want the thing that lets us play the big thing? I think we probably want the It of the Horrid Swarm here. Like, Cultist helps cast It of the Horrid Swarm, but it's easier to pick up, like, we could pick up Drowning Explorers, we could pick up a random Stitch Mangler in the final pack. I think having the 8 drop, as it were, is more important to this deck than having the random thing to sack. So I'm going to take It of the Horrid Swarm and hope I don't regret it by wheeling the It of the Horrid Swarm from the first or second pack we opened. There's nothing for us here. I'm going to ruin someone's day and take a Sigurdian Priest. I won't be playing. I suppose Take Inventory actually has minor value given that we've got a Docent. That's about it though. Okay, I'll take Inventory in case I've missed one and one actually wheels. Certain Death is it's technically splashable. I'm not above doing that, but Convolute works with Docent. Convolute's a playable card. Slam it in the least slammable way possible. So this deck is kind of okay. It's missing removal. As we deduced, no clear shots, only one Prey Upon. Let's take Turn Aside for board. Could even play it main if we're shorter cards. There's some cards I'm really not happy about playing in a blue-green in a blue-green Emergy spells deck. Hamlet Captain and Tattered Haunter take that particular mantle. Field Creeper or Abundant Maw? I think I might take Abundant Maw. Yeah, we've got 2 grapples, we've got a Terrarium, we've got ways to fix mana, pick up a Foul Orchard. I just don't think any of these other cards are things I want to play. I don't want to play a Wooden Patrol. I may in some scenario splash Abundant Maw if we're looking particularly weak. I like Abundant Maw more than most. It's a nice little bit of reach. Let's take a card. I think that might be yeah, Mirrorwing Dragon really did not work out here. I think I've never seen red this close, so maybe people to our right and left were in red, which would be surprising given how hard red was cut pack 1, but I've seen some surprising things in my life. Terror. Terror to the left of me. Terror to the right. Oh, thank God. Next pick. Let's take more Millovers. I'm not going to play the Consecrator. I'm just never that desperate. Take Succumb. Okay, so we've got a shell of sorts. The third Swarm didn't wheel, which I suppose is kind of fortunate, given that I just regret not taking the Cultist over it. It probably would make the cut, though, so perhaps not as fortunate as making out. Right, pack 3. We need spells, we need creatures, we need removal, we need it all. It'd be a lot better if the pack just loaded now. Here we go. Any second now. Come on, Booze King. Well, Forgotten Creation is quite a nice pickup. Sleep Paralysis is removal though, which we are very light on. Compelling. I think we could probably go into wheel something from this pack. And there's a lot of strong blue and green. What does Creation work with? Creation works with Wolf Infiltrator. Works well with Grapple. I think Creation's just the pick. It's a very strong card. Reckless Scholar works well with Wolf Infiltrator as well, and just in general, as it's a very good card. Sleep Paralysis, well, I have a forlorn hope we wheel it. This is not beyond the realms of possibility. This is a very strong pack. And given that not everyone's going to be blue or green, well, the Hunter won't wheel, but one of these blue cards definitely will come back. It's not beyond the realms of possibility to take Sleep Paralysis back. I'm going to take the Creation. I think the Creation has a... Well, it's got a lot of random upside of turning a hand of lands into just a playable hand. Let's take it. Let's take it and be happy about it. Well, not happy, but you know what I mean. Here, let's just take Byway Courier, something to emerge from for the Swarm. Again, doesn't really do too much for us. And it's always sad to pass Fever Visions because fun. But let's just take the Byway Courier. It's the clear pick for us here. Helps make Bloody Bee bigger as well. as I affectionately call Bloodbriar. Not affectionately, but, you know, we get on well. So we can technically flip the Docent. Oh, Pack Guardian's a nice little pickup. Yeah, nothing really compares with that. Essence Flux wouldn't be the worst thing to play in this deck with a Docent. I suppose it wouldn't be the worst thing if Pack Guardian wheels as well, given that it is a spirit. Brybridge Patrol would be a nice little wheel if we ever get that lucky, but Pack Guardian's a great card. I suppose Reckless Scholar might have had a little extra upside over Forgotten Creation, as it is a wizard. And you only need that and 2 spells for the Wizardry of Docent to be complete. Oof, Udenborn Mistress is just quality. Quality card, quality. It's better than Obsessive Skinner marginally. Especially in a merge deck. Okay, this has made the deck infinitely better. I actually now feel the deck has a chance of 3-0ing. A small chance. It's not vintage. It's not vintage Magic here, but Udenborn Mistress is quality. Let's take that and be happy. Happiness gone, unfortunately. Nope, there's nothing here. It's not Pieces. It's not Snapper. Suppose we can take Provisioner. Intrepid of the Provisioners. Suppose do we play it? Hopefully not, but who knows? Who knows with these crazy kids? Quilled Wolf, pretty sweet. Let's get that in deck. I suppose Widdingwood works with Bloodbriar, but Quilled Wolf works with Udenborn Mistress and is a 2-drop, which is also good. Ooh, Hermit or Cult? I think it's a pretty clear Hermit. Hermit's a good card. Cult's a good card as well. I think it being a 5-mana 5/4 somewhat underlooked sometimes, and underappreciated. Magnifying Glass is the poor man's Udenborn Mistress, but we are a rich, rich man. I am a rich, rich man. It's the grammatically. I'm going to stop. So the deck's kind of taken shape better than I thought it would. Like, Hamlet Captain doesn't look bad at the moment. I still don't want to play Tattered Haunter. We're weak to flyers, and we have just the prey upon for dealing with them. I suppose Docent it can block flyers as it's huge. Right on cue, Gloom Widow. That being said, I kind of want the Scarecrow. Might be the wrong pick. I mean the Wildfield Scarecrow. I just like this card. I think it's very good. We don't have any Delirium. We could be splashing the Abundant more, weird as it is. I don't think Gloom Widow is what we want. I just don't like it most of the time. It not being able to block is a real downside, as we don't really care about bashing him for 3. With a deck like this, I'm going to take the Wildfield Scarecrow. Lone Dride's good as well, but the Wildfield Scarecrow is a nice little card. Ooh, Reckless Scholar Wheel. Even though Compelling Deterrence is an interactive card, which we lack at the moment, especially a Sleep Paralysis Dim Wheel, I think we take the Scholar here. Scholar's just very, very good. Especially as it's a little wizard. Suppose we can take Stoic Builder and hope not to run it. Yeah, I think just not run it. Despite it getting back a land with a double grapple, I don't think Stoic Builder is where we want to be. Ever, really. Ooh, Vessel of Nascency. I'll take that every day at week. Fork in the Road might make the main deck here. I'm hoping it doesn't, but it does trigger the old Docent, which isn't to be underlooked. The rest of these cards don't matter. Right, let's see what we're working with. Let's put the playables in. Even older Bundy. I'm using playable in the loosest sense of the word. Let's have a look at these creatures. Right, well, first cut. That was worthwhile. So we need to cut 7 cards. I think Wolfkin Bond can be included in that. I think Fork in the Road is gone as well. Terrarian works with the 1 Bloodbriar. That's about it, though. And we haven't got any Delirium. We haven't got any pressing need for it. Okay, bye Terrarian. 'Twas good to know thee. Turn Aside can be gone too. Convolute. I've never been a huge fan of Convolute. I think it's better than Tattered Haunter here. If we're playing an Ulenvold Mysteries deck, we just want creatures that can trade. Whilst being a creature that can trade, Intrepid Provision is not quite what we want either. So 1 more cut. I think it's either Stoic Builder or Wildfield Scarecrow. I mean, Builder does get back a land a surprising amount of time, but it's not even that great. Then it's just a random 2/3 that can be emerged from or can trade. Excuse me, in the best case scenario. We're quite short on win conditions. Our win conditions are basically docent or just swarming the board and attacking with everything. We're going to have to really save Prey Upon here. Prey Upon's beyond premium removal in this deck. This is the holy grail of cards. I think we're going to get rid of Stoke Builder. I like that Wellfield Scarecrow can trigger Univol Mysteries at instant speed. Not even at instant speed. You can just trigger Univol Mysteries as and when you need the clue. And it can makes a decent emerge target. I suppose Stoke Builder does as well, but I would like to play Stoke Builder, but I kind of want to play Convolute. Just having a random thing for docents kind of, well, not really kind of important, because a 5/4 flyer for 5's pretty great. I think I'm going to run it like this. We can always bring in Stoke Builder if the opponent's playing a low to the ground deck. I'm assuming it's going to suggest we run more green than blue, which is probably true, but we want to keep it close. 9/8, I guess. No. Yeah, 9/8 looks good here. Okay. Well, that looks like a decent deck. Let's see what it does. It's a bit too similar to the ones I draft all the time, but they usually do quite well. The lack of clear shot and rabid bite hurts, but them's the breaks. See you very soon in round 1.